Well, it's August 2023, and we're back to the future. Back to the future. What does that mean? It means it's time for the fabulous, the one and the only Marc Z from Marc Z Legal Staffing, talking again about personnel and personnel trends in business that we all need to be aware of. Welcome back, Marc.
Thanks, Jeff. Great to be here and great to hang with you for a few minutes and catch up.
Great. So, Marc, there's always something going on. What's going on in your world?
Well, in our world, one of the things that we're seeing trending back after probably 3 years are company or firm events for employees. When you have the summer, used to be that we're going to have a summer outing for our employees, either some kind of get together, some kind of time spent together, whether it's a company outing for a day, whether it's an evening event, a dinner, something that will hopefully, in a fun way, bring everybody together and catch up outside of work. And COVID changed that. And a lot of companies tried to be creative by having some fun, different things like wine tasting. I know I was part of some of those, trivia, just different types of events to keep everybody together in something fun that everybody would walk away from, not just the daily grind. Well, that's come back, and just wanted to note that we're seeing trends again, whether it's going out on the Odyssey in Boston in this market or in many markets, a ship for a couple hours, getting everybody together. Some companies are saying, you know what, let's just take a day off, and they have activities and they have people to run activities with, whether it's the families or the just the employees, and they have actually people in charge of activities to make it fun for everybody. And my only recommendation is don't forget two things. One is don't forget the virtual employees. So if you're going to have an event and you want to include everybody, that means including everybody. So you might have to fly them in, or you might have to pick a venue that people go to that they can commute. They could commute to that one day, give everybody that day off, or give them some other time, and so people can go and be together. And it brings the remote employees and the in-person employees together, because that's the whole part of it, is the bonding and the connecting. And sure, they connected over video, over time, getting to know each other. But I know you and I are starting to go to events, whether it's a happy event or it's a funeral type event or a sympathy call, when we're seeing people we haven't seen in 3 or 4 years or longer. And that's the same thing with employees. It's really important that people get together. Now, the other thing I wanted to say is, one of the things you got to be careful about, and because you're reading about it, is events that have alcohol or have long commutes to, because those are things that can be challenging for employers and employees. And these are the situations to be careful about.
I have a couple of comments showing you that I'm listening. First of all, I have a client, and I have a couple of clients and I love what they do. They get the food trucks to come in. And I love that whole food truck idea with employees. And I know employees love it too. And it's good for the food trucks. You're stimulating the economy.
Right.
And employees just have a really good time with that stuff. And you have some, picnic benches, and you hang out and you talk. And so I love the whole food truck thing.
Food truck's great. I've participated in that. I've been included in some of those. It's like some of the cuisine you never thought you would enjoy, and it's a perk that you say that's a little bit different.
Oh, my wife once thought if we were going to have a party at our house that she was going to get a food truck to pull up to our in our driveway. I mean, I think it's, they have the barbecue trucks. So the other thing is, I think a lot of baby boomers are still struggling with going out, that they became sort of home institutionalized. And I may represent some of that getting back out is important. And it's only now that they're starting to get out again, to go to places. And I think they were a little slower than some of the other people to get. Millennials got out faster.
Correct.
And the baby boomers. And the last thing, and I know this again, from my wife, because she does a lot of events, the alcohol thing, you have to be very careful because the liability is on the employer.
Correct.
It's not on the person who drank 3 beers at your place or 4 beers and then drove home. The liability is on the restaurant, or if it's at your facility, it's on the employer. And you got to be careful watching how much people drink, because
Correct.
people who drink can drink very sweetly and discreetly, and you don't even notice it.
Correct. And that's for the day events. Even, for example, some events are being held at golf and swim clubs that companies are renting out for certain periods of time, and they're serving alcohol, and it's people are drinking throughout the day, or even a night event, whether it's a cruise or restaurants. Those are things you've got to be careful about too.
Well, I'm not sure everybody would invite me or if I wanted to go, but I'm a good person to invite to parties because I've always been the designated driver. And I can be obnoxious and funny at the same time.
All the above.
Mark, if anybody's looking for you, needs more advice on personnel, staffing, legal staffing, how do they find you?
Well, first of all, go to our wonderful Radio Entrepreneurs website, radioentrepreneurs.com, and we're on it along with a number of our reporters and guests. Google Marc Z, M-A-R-C, and the letter Z, and we come right up. MarcZlegal.com, MarcZlegal.com, and 617-338-1300.
And remind everybody, this is Radio Entrepreneurs, and Marc Z will be back next week with more stories.